Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Rich Singles Pretending to be Poor. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's get started. We have terrible news for all the gold diggers out there. And you'll be amazed when you hear this. Rich single people are now pretending to be poor or middle class. Apparently, the amount of predatory gold diggers out there trying to prey on rich single people has gotten so out of hand that many of the rich are now hiding the fact that they are rich. I know to some people this may sound like an episode of the Jerry Springer Show, or it may sound like rich people problems. But if you heard half the stories that we've heard, then I suspect you would agree with them and with us. We now have such an epidemic of predatory and criminal behavior targeting rich singles that it is amazing. It's not that these wealthy rich singles are complaining about the dating world. That's not the problem. It's not daters. It's not single people. The problem is all the criminals out there masquerading as single people pretending to be interested in someone romantically just so they can swindle them, con them, rip them off, or make false allegations against them. Believe me, if someone did these things to someone who was single, then you too would be furious. So what sort of things are these people up to? Well, it's a long list, but we'll tell you some of them because many of these predatory fake single tactics aren't being used against the rich now. They're also being used against middle class individuals. They're targeting them in an effort to defraud them or rip them off or just openly steal from them. What some of these con people do is they'll cruise the nicer nightclubs or bars and restaurants, and then they'll flirt with people in the VIP booths. They'll strike up conversations with them. They'll exchange numbers with them. Then they'll pretend to date them while they're actually just observing what sort of opportunities these potential victims may present. It's a reconnaissance mission. They're scouting you out. They're sizing you up. They're checking what you have. Then, at the right time and place, they will do all sorts of things like arrange to have your house burglarized. They'll memorize the house security code and pass that information along to someone they're working with. They'll take photographs of documents and financial statements that they see laying around the house. When the homeowner goes to the bathroom, they'll photograph the front and back of their driver's license and some of their credit cards, and then quickly put that wallet back so that the owner doesn't realize what happened. They will copy the contacts from their phones and memorize the passcode to their phone. They'll find out what banks they do business with. They'll find out where they work and what they do for a living. They'll try to have you teach them about the stock market, but really all they want to know is what your account passwords are. Here's a really creepy one. They will try and get various samples of your DNA or your semen. Stealing someone's semen is now much more valuable and lucrative than stealing just about anything else they may have. If the homeowner goes to the bathroom after sex and tosses the condom out, they will follow them into the bathroom a few minutes later and try and extract some of the bodily fluids from those used condoms so that they can get themselves pregnant down the line and collect child support. Do you think that sounds preposterous? Well, then you should know that many professional sports leagues now have an instructional class that they have all their new players attend each year. One of the things that they teach their new athletes is a skill called condom destruction. Apparently, there are so many groupies out there going after post-sex condoms that have been tossed into the bathroom garbage can or just floating at the top of the toilet that the athletes are now told to slash their condoms repeatedly. then toss them into the toilet, and then flush the toilet a minimum of 5 times to make sure that the used condoms don't float back up to the surface. The sports leagues call these groupies condom pirates because they'll do just about anything to get themselves impregnated by a wealthy athlete or business person. By the way, if you're thinking that if this happens to you, you'll just tell the judge what really happened, and then the judge will tell you, that's okay, you don't have to pay the child support for the next 18 years, then you are in for the judicial shock of a lifetime, because that judge is going to have you pay whether you like it or not. So, what else are rich singles who are pretending to be poor doing to avoid getting scammed? Well, rich single people usually have beautiful cars, but now many of them are out buying conventional looking middle class cars. You know, they'll go out and buy a Toyota or a pickup truck so that they can keep it more low key. They'll stop wearing designer clothes or fancy jewelry. Some of them will even get a secondary single apartment in a middle class part of town to keep a low profile. Many of them are installing hidden surveillance cameras in every room of their homes so that they can prove to the police that they never did anything inappropriate and that all the romantic interactions were completely consensual. Celebrities have been doing this for years, but now more people are doing it just to protect themselves from false allegations. Another thing they're doing is that they are doing deep background checks on everybody they meet or decide to date. If they end up, cancel. If that person ends up having a criminal background or they associate with known criminals, then guess what? You automatically get blocked from further contact with them. If you're poor, then dating really isn't much of a challenge because neither of you really has anything worth stealing most of the time. If you're middle class and you have a job, then you're much more vulnerable. But if you've achieved some measure of financial success, then you have essentially become not a single person, but a walking bullseye. As a rich single person, it doesn't matter if you're fat or stupid or unattractive, if you have a drinking problem or a drug problem. None of these things serve as barriers to all these predators out there. They don't care if you haven't bathed in the last 2 months. In fact, the more unappealing and dysfunctional a rich person is, the more of a target they will become for predators. Why is that? Because the more compromised, challenged, dysfunctional, or low IQ you appear to be, the more likely it is that you will fall victim to their latest con. The more likely it is that you will fall for whatever they're trying to use on you. Some of their best and most lucrative targets are rich trust fund morons who have never really done anything and never really experienced life with their lives, but they like to party endlessly. These are the people they love to set up or extort. They know how easy it is for them to con someone like them. Here's another thing that's really interesting. It used to be that these con people would hide in the shadows. They didn't want everyone to know what they were up to. But for many of them now, that's no longer the case. They will openly and publicly join sugar daddy websites to get multiple people to support them financially. Then, when the relationship has run its course and the money faucet has been turned off, then they will send in a co-conspirator or friend to con their sugar daddy in some new way. And then they'll cut them in on the piece of the ongoing proceeds. So they can continue to con them over and over, but they do it with these gold-digging proxies when they send them in later to continue the con on their behalf. These gold-digging proxies are basically just engaging in ongoing romantic pyramid schemes or network marketing schemes that just keep generating money for you and all the other cons involved after you break up with them or after they break up with you. It doesn't matter. Who says America is not the land of opportunity? Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great interviews coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's episode of our show on all your social media to help spread the word. Thank you, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye-bye.